Thank you for joining us here on Marriage Uncut. My name is Letitia, and we'll be discussing things that happen within marriages and relationships that we all go through, but we'll go through them here together. Make sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any upcoming episodes that come out every Friday so we can work on this thing together. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us here today on Marriage Uncut. My name is Letitia, and I appreciate you for tuning in. Later today, we'll be discussing things with the guests, things that they're going through within their relationship or marriage, things that they would like to say, or concerns that they may have. But before we get into that, I just wanted to provide a little background on what we do here on this platform, which is to provide a safe space for us to come together and commune and talk about things that we all go through, but have that space to go through them together. Have that space for us to talk and commune and help one another through the things that we go through so that these relationships can be successful and be on one accord. So hopefully this platform will be something that you can benefit from, I can benefit from. And if you want to share this with others so that they can benefit in their marriage or relationship, please do. Please like or share or subscribe so you won't miss any upcoming episodes. And we'll get right to that guest. Hi, hello. Thank you for joining us here today on Marriage Uncut. Tell us your first name and where you're from.
My name is Zalea, and I'm also from California.
All right, California. You're our third guest here from California. Welcome again. Let us know why you're here, why you're joining us today.
Today, I would like to share more advice on the self when it comes to relationships, and also hear more insight when it comes to what it means to have a relationship with another being, let alone a healthy relationship with yourself.
Right. So are you asking about having a relationship, healthy relationship, or you're speaking on how to be in tune with oneself in a relationship?
Right. So the advice or insight that I would give would be about the self.
Okay.
And some insight that I would ask of would be, how would we come together as a relationship, as a unit, while understanding oneself? Because
Okay.
I did know sometimes it may be difficult understanding another person in a relationship if you may not know what you want within yourself.
Right. So are you in a marriage, or are you long-term relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So you're married. How long have you been married?
It would be going on 3 years.
Okay, so a new marriage. So there's things that you would have to work through at the beginning of things before you can, like you said, with oneself, before it can prosper into togetherness and oneness, really, when it's new.
Right.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
a lot of times it is about understanding what the other person may want within themselves, and then understanding and expressing what you want within yourself. So that way the communication is not misinterpreted, because a lot of times when you're trying to explain yourself to someone else, they may not receive everything that you're trying to put out to them, possibly because of the way you're expressing yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it may just be an issue with how you're able to get out what's on your mind, what's on your heart, if there's anything bothering you about the relationship or about even yourself.
Yeah. Well, you're very articulate. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. So the young married couple.
Mhm.
Okay. You can continue.
Okay. So one thing that I feel as though we would have to pay attention more on would be why it is there's the disparity between the communication from one person to the other, because I noticed that maybe you may be able to yourself easily, but when the other person may not be able to express themselves, you may feel that distance between the two. But I
Right.
believe if there is better communication and understanding the other person and why you have that issue between communicating, if that's understood.
Yeah, I understand. Communication is key, actually. You can be completely in love with the person emotionally, but if you don't have communication, it will eventually break down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I've noticed a lot of times when communicating, if there is a calm tone or a neutral tone, you're more likely to hear what you have to say better and what the other person also has to say. If there's a lot of harsh tone, one or the other person may be shut out or misinterpreted or misheard, or maybe not even heard at all, and that would cause that disruption between the two people within the relationship or whichever relationship, be it a friendship, parents, even the long-term relationships and the marriage.
Mm. Yeah, the tone definitely has a lot to do with it. How you present your argument, how you present your what you're trying to say actually matters a lot. The person may not be very receptive if your tone is negative. So I agree with that, that your tone makes a big difference in the way things are received and how you feel when you're communicating what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Do you have any insight when it comes to understanding oneself in order to communicate and connect with the other person in the relationship?
I do. I like to state that I am not a licensed psychologist, but I do know self and I know emotion. And one of the things I do know about emotions is they definitely will be overwhelming if you don't learn to control them. They are okay to have. It's very healthy to have different types of emotion, even anger. But when you are in that emotion, you need to know what action to take while you're in that emotion. And that's where I think a lot of people um, lose themselves because they get overwhelmed in one or two emotions that's happening at the same time. So, really, when you learn yourself, it's really learning how to behave in an emotion.
Right.
So, like I said, it's okay to have anger, sadness, be bothered by something, but how you behave during that emotion will really um, tell how your outcome is going to be with yourself and with others. Because if you're by yourself and you have, say, sadness, it's okay to feel sad about something, but you have to acknowledge why you're feeling sad and what to do about it from that point. Don't stay in an emotion because emotions drive us. They make us, we have a fear response, and that is to provide safety. We have these different emotions for a reason, but it's just learning them, learning what to do with them, and that's how you become one with yourself, because then you know how to behave in your emotion.
I do believe it does take a lot of observation with the emotions that you may have at any given moment. I am also building a platform to be able to express myself and allow others to be able to express themselves,
Okay.
because there's a lot of people that may not know how to observe their emotions based on maybe the traumas that they've gone through that's kept them basically building on their emotion instead of just
Yeah.
expressing, letting go, and moving on to the next emotion or the next thing that they would have to uh, devote their entire selves to. So
Right.
if there are times where you allow yourself to stay in one emotion when you are supposed to be in another position, that's keeping yourself away from where you're supposed to be, or away from where the Most High would want you to be.
Yeah.
So the platform that I'm working on is to be able to uh, go into the topics that some people may be uncomfortable expressing in the moment. That way we can address all of the emotions that one may feel
Yeah.
and move past that and be able to build with the better emotions.
Right. So is your platform a podcast? You can give your web address or podcast information if you have it available. I'll put it right below here. Uh, if not, I congratulate you on trying to do something beneficial for the people, because there is a lot of negativity out there in the world. And so to have a positive platform for things like that, what you stated is just a great thing. I'm all support for things like that.
Well, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
am still in the process of setting up that podcast for others to be able to receive that information, but I have already, through the word of mouth, spread that information on the podcast. So there
Okay.
are audience already ready to give their own insight. So
Okay.
the point of the guests, like you said, to build more of that audience. So if you do have more people that's be willing to be on that podcast whenever I have that set up, I would be likely to give you that information.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. I definitely will support. And anybody watching that's listening to what our friend here is saying about what they want to show and share about communication, they can join. I will definitely put the link below or in the description box, and we could help her out along her journey.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to discuss about marriage or relationships while you have me on here?
Um, I feel as though now that I've understood more of what emotions are within myself and that everybody is working through emotions, I see it's easier to communicate with, say, the other person in a relationship because they're more likely to express themselves, knowing that there's an actual state or place of comfort and there's no issues there. So we'd be able to communicate better.
When you say state or place of comfort, where are you referring to?
So when you allow the platform, even just a podcast or sitting down in a room with the other person and letting it be known that this would be a place of comfort and that there wouldn't be any rash emotions or response to what's going on, they may be more likely to express themselves or let you know what's going on in their minds.
So
So
you
I'm allowed.
mean, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You mean creating a safe space?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So basically, right, right, right. So that would be definitely helpful for the other person to have a safe space like we do here on this platform. Try to create a safe space for people to let us know what they're going through if they have any concerns with no judgment so that the viewers can help them out, or if I have any advice that I can give from my perspective, help them out, and hopefully it'll help them to better their relationship and apply it. That's the hard part. Knowing what to do is, the first step. How to apply it is a little bit more difficult because even though you may learn the proper techniques to do something, until you get into the practice and habit of doing it, it's all just talk. It's all just talk, really. So the evidence of you being able to actually do what you're learning is the actions that you see afterwards. You'll see the different change in behaviors. The relationship will feel happier, healthier. You'll feel more one with your spouse or a significant other. So you'll be able definitely to tell that you've done everything in place the correct way, because now that you've learned them, now you've learned to implement. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to ramble. You've learned to implement what you've learned, and it can benefit you and your significant other. Yeah. All
Yes,
right. Say it again.
I was agreeing with what you were saying there. I do thank you for also having me on there and allowing the safe space as well to be able to possibly understand my own mind and the minds of others when hearing the insight, what you have, and anybody else that may be on here as the guests.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to help anytime I can. All
Well,
right. Thank you for joining us here today on this episode of Marriage Uncut, where we discuss things that happen within self. How do you learn about self and then apply that to your relationship. If you have any insight on that, I'd love to hear. Make sure you comment or message us to let us know where you're coming from, what you're going through, and I'll be happy to respond. If you want to be a part of the show, also comment or message us, and you can be a guest on the show as well. I'll be happy to have you. Again, thanks for joining. We'll have our show every Friday, sometimes 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for hopefully at least every Friday. If we get on time, if we're on time. So, again, thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye.